I want to begin tonight's show with more troubling allegations directed at the Catholic Church. This time, two investigations of sexual abuse in Germany. One focusing on a renowned choir, once led by the Pope's brother. The other involves abuse of students. Frederick Pleitgen heard one disturbing account from an alleged victim.
Norbert Denef talks a lot these days. He has vowed he will never be silenced again. Denef says as a child he was the victim of sexual abuse at the hands of a Catholic priest. It started when he was 10.
I had finally become an altar boy. After Mass, he asked me to come with him. I was so proud to be allowed in his apartment for the first time. He locked the door, sat down, pulled me on his lap, opened my pants, and started touching me.
Denef says the abuse went on for 8 years and involved another church employee as well.
It was always there, a smell, a noise. It was always there, especially at night. And I kept having visions of me on the bed and him on top of me.
Denef says the church attempted to silence him.
They offered me 25,000 euros, but there was a provision saying if I spoke about the abuse, they would demand the money back.
The sexual abuse scandal is rocking Germany's Catholic Church. New allegations coming to light almost every day. Germany is the homeland of Pope Benedict XVI, and allegations of abuse have emerged regarding the country's renowned Catholic choir, once led by the Pope's brother. Monsignor Georg Ratzinger has noted that the abuse allegations date from before his tenure as choir master. Ratzinger says he was never aware of any sexual abuse.
I can't recall any. I just did my work to the best of my abilities.
Germany's Catholic Church has issued a public apology to alleged victims and says it will review its guidelines for dealing with cases of sexual abuse. In a statement issued Tuesday, the Vatican also said it was reviewing its guidelines to prevent such cases in the future. But the clergy denies allegations of a cover-up and said churches across Europe, including those in Germany, have addressed the issue with timely and decisive action. Most alleged abuses happened between the 1960s and the 80s, exceeding Germany's statute of limitations for prosecution. Norbert Denef says the law must be changed.
We must face the disaster without anger and hatred, and stop looking the other way.
In the end, Norbert Denef settled with Germany's Catholic Church, taking the 25,000 euros the church offered. But he did make sure the provision that he remained silent was dropped. Fred Pleitgen, CNN, Scharbeutz, Germany.
Well, the revelations from Germany are just the latest in a number of recent scandals rocking the Roman Catholic Church. Earlier this month, authorities raided a monastery in southern Germany as part of an investigation into allegations that priests sexually abused children there. In Austria, the head of a Benedictine monastery in Salzburg has admitted to sexually abusing a child decades ago and has offered to resign. Last November, an independent commission found that the Catholic Church in Ireland had concealed widespread abuse of kids from 1975 to 2004. The findings were so damning, Irish bishops travelled to the Vatican last month to discuss them with Pope Benedict. Well, the allegations from Germany are particularly sensitive because the Pope, of course, was born there and because they include Ratzinger's brother. Well, today the Vatican responded and it offered up something that can be best described as a global perspective on the problem of abuse. Take a listen to this.
I'm Morgan Neal in Vatican City, where the Pope's spokesman says church organizations in Europe have taken timely and decisive action in response to a sexual abuse scandal involving minors at church schools. Now, the Vatican says the church organizations in Austria, Germany, and the Netherlands have even sped up the emergence of this problem by inviting victims to speak out, even in cases that happened, quote, many years ago. But the Vatican says this is not a problem that's limited to the church, and concentrating accusations against the church gives a false perspective.
Well, according to the Pontifical yearbook. The number of Catholics worldwide is approximately 1.6 billion. That is up 1.7% from the previous year. Now, the number of candidates for priesthood is up slightly worldwide, but down more than 4% in Europe. And the number of bishops, well, that is up slightly as well, with most of the growth, it's got to be said, in Africa and the Americas. The countries with the most Catholics are Brazil, Mexico, the Philippines, the US and Italy. Well, numbers aside, the Church, it's got to be said, is fighting a steady erosion of its influence. The abuse scandals arguably have jolted the organisation's moral authority. So what is next for the Catholic Church? I want to discuss that with Frank